So is it going now, or?
I think it says live, yeah.
But is it working? Quick, unmute yours while muting Skype and check.
It is actually working, yes.
Really? Oh, good. So I just can't have the video. That sucks. You worked so hard on that image.
Yeah, I know, it took me like 7 minutes. But if you upload it to your channel, then Companion can see the visual representation of him not being here.
Representation. Yeah, it's definitely working. Okay.
Excellent.
I shouldn't have tested if it was working by unmuting it, but I did.
Yeah, well, we're on now, and we're only like 2 minutes late, so screw it.
Yeah, we made it on time, technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I know if it's working properly? No. Do I think it's working properly, though? Yes.
Alright.
As long as it doesn't say frames dropped, I'm just going to assume it's working fine.
Yeah, there's only 2 people watching it, I'm assuming that's us.
Probably.
So, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah. Sure.
So I wonder how it sounds when I use my mute button.
Oh, are you gonna test it?
I probably should, because I might have to use it a few times. Wait.
It just sounds like like that. Yeah. Well, there it is for all of you in attendance.
Yeah, I'm having major allergy problems. So I'm assuming people don't want to hear my bodily excretions.
I bet they do. It probably sounds fabulous. Let's just.
Oh, okay. There, you're gonna be getting tons of that then. All of that, like hundreds of times. Oh no, this is becoming a problem.
Sounds delightful.
I should just live outside next to a brook. And then all the allergens will be taken downstream away from my faceplate.
Man, you come up with the best plans.
Well, yes. Yes. Yes, I'm gonna assume you're not being sarcastic.
You know what I forgot to do?
Hmm?
Tell Yoshi about the stream. You know what I'm going to do right now?
Hmm?
I'm gonna tell him about the stream.
Fancy.
There. It happened. I did it.
Awesome.
I'm clear didn't forget.
When did you post an announcement for this?
Saturday.
Okay.
Friday.
Whatever. It doesn't actually matter if people are here live. As
No,
long
not
as it's
really.
saved.
Yeah. And who knows, they might not even be able to be there live. Who knows if it's actually working as it should be. I mean, I unmuted it and checked, and it sounded like it was, but
Yeah, it definitely came on.
I don't know if it's being consistent, if it's messing up. I don't know what it's doing.
Every time I've checked, it's been fun.
Every time I check, I get loops, so I shouldn't check. Even though I just did again.
But alright, this is the waiting queue. We talk about very important world issues, such
Like
as...
waiting.
Yeah, like waiting. That is something we've all experienced.
A very terrible wait.
Yeah, and queues, which you happen when you go to Starbucks and you have to wait in the line, and there's a little railing there.
And then there's a coffee at the end.
Yeah, and you don't go there because it's a creepy place, and no one should go there. What?
Sure.
Oh. Yes. So I believe you actually had a number of topics, unlike me, for I'm lazy and filled with mucus.
Yeah, I should have them, yes. Alright, so, you know, I mentioned that we were contracted to go 10 hours, and this is totally not BS. So, yeah, we gotta talk about... Oh, you didn't? Well, basically, we got contracted to talk 10 hours about Hey Fatty, so let's get to it.
Oh, if it's about Hey Fatty, we're cool. Yeah, if it's any other subject, that
Not so much.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
jeez.
yeah, we could save that for the other 9 hours, I think.
Yeah. So,
This first hour.
this first hour. But no, speaking of weird things that have come from Japan, there is actually another weird thing that came from Japan that I will...
Oh, there's no way it's as good as Hey Fatty.
It makes an attempt. I gotta tell you what. I'm gonna send you the link right now because it makes a pretty damn good attempt.
Okay.
It's this game, for all of those who are not around, developed by Furyu Studios. It's called Extetra, Exstetra. It's a Japanese game where you play a boy who can give people special powers by kissing them, and you have to save the world by kissing both female and male characters.
Well, the opening image on this video looks terrifying, mainly because the expressions on their face is just awkward, and I don't think they want to be kissing.
No, there's actually only one character who willingly kisses the main character, so I've been told. And so,
So wait, he forcefully kisses them.
well, by the trailers look, yes.
Oh, that's not good.
Look, you gotta save the world.
It's just that the chances of him getting mouth herpes are incredibly high. I mean, if you're going to be kissing random people, oh jeez.
But I'm just surprised that I found a game where the whole entire premise of this RPG is to kiss other characters to confer special powers to them in order to save the world.
And this doesn't seem low budget either.
No, it doesn't.
This looks like a major production here.
And it doesn't even, like, if you watch the trailer, which I have, it doesn't even look like it's all about the kissing either. It just looks like that's a huge excuse to get that in there. Because the actual combat looks pretty well devised.
So it's basically like, what's that thing? It's like Magical Boy Negima or something like that. There's this wizard in this anime, and he can make like these pacts with these girls where they get superpowers to protect him as a wizard. And in order to make the pact, you have to kiss them. So at the end of each anime, they have this mass pact where he just kisses like 50 girls, and they all turn into magical supergirls, and there's this ridiculous battle against something. So this isn't actually entirely a nude concept, but that beginning image looked creepy as hell because it was like kiss like.
For video games, though, it's a new concept.
Yes, completely. I don't know of any video game where you make pacts by kissing.
Well, there's not really pacts. It's not even consensual. That's what I'm saying. So.
Oh dear.
And it's not all with women, which has actually been a big sticking point for this game so far. A lot of people have complained about that. Both the homophobes who say, you should not kiss the guys, and as well as the, gay rights enthusiasts who are like, whoa, it better not be done in a comedic fashion. It better be done in the same way as the kisses to the girls is done.
Mm.
And it's like, it'll be done however we want it to be done, bitches. That's what my answer would be to them.
Yeah, exactly. Screw off. Not everything needs to be a political statement. Sometimes you just want male characters, and they have to fit into your mechanic. So they get smooched too. Deal with it. Trying to save the world there.
Pretty much. I would kiss another man if it meant saving the world, or just being a badass. It doesn't even need to save the world. As long as I can just be a badass, I would do it.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's not like you have to French them, and it's not like you have to have sex with them, so...
Alright, but if you French them, do they get more power?
I would have to assume so.
Okay, so...
You'd likely end up Frenching them.
Yeah, you don't want to phone it in here. We're trying to save the world. I mean...
Yeah. You can't pull your punches when it comes to saving the world. You either save it or you don't.
Pretty much. So you gotta swap some spit there. I mean, for your country. For your planet.
For your people.
God damn the burdens we bear.
Pretty much.
But I don't know. To be honest, this doesn't look like a bad game. This looks like a serious, legit RPG here.
I know. That's what I was thinking. I'm just like, other than the weird game mechanic, it's a pretty legit game.
Yeah.
And the weird mechanic intrigues me. So.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what the balls is behind that situation.
Mm-hmm.
You really could only give superpowers to people by kissing them? There's no other way. None.
I could see this being released in America, except the main character would probably be a girl. And no one would have a problem.
That is true.
Okay, she's underage. Wait a second. Oh dear. That little witch girl? Yeah.
Look, Japan has different standards. It's a magical place.
Yes, there's dragons. There are many samurai with magical Masamunes.
It's definitely a better place than America. Let's just be honest. They have Masamune, so
Yes.
I'm sorry, guys.
That's how they cut bread. It's just massive munes. They just have
You-
to be careful not to cut their tables also.
Which is an incredibly hard feat, so
Yes. I'm 99% sure everything we said is true.
I'm equally as sure.
Excellent.
And now he's coughing. It'll be awkward, like, 3 more times, and you'll get used to it. He's not back yet. He is still going.
Yeah, I unmuted that incorrectly. It's like, yeah, God, the allergies. I don't even know what I'm allergic to. It's just something. Something in my room.
It's your face. You're allergic to your own face.
That would be bad. I
That
think
would
it's
be
rad
the
scorpions.
worst thing.
There's so many rad scorpions just in the walls. Mini rad scorpions.
You can't say that live. You'll get condemned.
Yeah, well, it's too late now. That ship is sailed.
Well, now your whole house is gonna get condemned. Good job.
Whatever. I've already mentioned so many times that there's mice and mold in this house. If they haven't condemned it yet, then whatever.
Then you hear a knock on the door, and it's like we just happened to be watching that amazing podcast.
Yeah, then they get devoured by rad scorpions and everything's fine. We have a pact with them. We kissed, so they don't attack us. But anyone else who comes...
So you
they
actually
don't
made
attack us.
them worse by kissing them.
Well, that's probably why I have the allergies, but you know what? If rad scorpions say kiss us or we're gonna devour you, you kiss the damn rad scorpions. Once again, you have to do what you have to save your house. As the world, if we were in that situation.
God damn it, Chris.
So you have anything else, Topic Man, who actually prepares, unlike other people who just bleed mucus from their
Nope,
eyeball?
that was it. This is the entire waiting queue. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye!
You mentioned like 5 things to me, and this wasn't even one of them.
Nope, I've left.
I know that you have other stuff.
Nope.
I can just go to the YouTube message you sent me, present your own topics to you. Oh god.
You can't do that. That's terrible. Alright, so next order of business, it seems Machinima, who obviously sponsor a lot of people on YouTube, while he coughs, have once again, I don't know if he can actually hear me when he coughs, and he kind of needs to hear me for this part, so I'm going to wait. Can you actually... Nope, he's not back.
I can hear you. It just
Okay.
needs to so that I can do horrible
Well, I just...
functions.
I don't know if you're, like, throwing your headset off while you die or not,
No,
so...
that would be the most ghetto mutant button. It's just like, throw it over there! Yeah! No, it's just, I just click a button and then you can't hear me.
Alright, well, Machinima's changed their policy regarding copyright strikes, and this is a direct quote from one of the people who are sponsored by Machinima. This is their quote from Twitter. Got an email from Machinima about copyright strikes. Video game soundtracks, cutscenes, trailers, and spoilers are all off limits. End quote.
So that's everything.
That's-
Everything related to Let's Plays.
Yeah, you wouldn't even be able to do a co-op Let's Play where you just didn't show cutscenes or anything, because it still would count as a spoiler. It'd still count as video game soundtrack. There's a lot of confusion, though, regarding that. As if, where, like, they don't know exactly what that means. If it means, completely, if you get a copyright strike, they're just going to say, fuck it, and you get it. Or
Yeah.
what they're really going to do about that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if that's just like saying, this is not something you should be, if you get a copyright strike related to these, there's not much we can do. But, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Because in the laundromat in the back of my old house, there was a sign that said, if you park here and you're not using laundromat, we will tow you. But they never towed you. And people think they just put that there so they could tow you if you want. So I'm wondering if this is just like, if you get a copyright strike, we feel like it, we can just end your contract. And they're just laying the groundwork for that.
Yeah, that might be it. But I know that a lot of the people that are, in Machinima, like, that are sponsored by them right now, are pretty pissed about it as far as Let's Players go. And they're like, well, fuck it then. If this is actually a thing, then we'll just go to, we'll just either go to a different network or just do indie games.
Yes. And I also wonder, like, do Machinima still have their ridiculous contracts that, like, you're just with them for life? Or did they stop that because that's technically illegal?
I wouldn't know the details of Machinima contracts, because I've never seen one physically, so...
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy. Like, when I was researching networks, I was basically... All my research said, do not go to Machinima. They do weird crap. And I know, like, a few months ago, they actually did not renew the contracts of thousands of people. So they shrunk basically to try to only pick the biggest ones. And now they're doing this. Like, I don't know what's going on. Honestly, it's a little bit concerning
Yeah.
because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Machinima was actually YouTube backed. Google actually gave them a large amount of money to develop their channel. So, I mean, this could end up being more of an official stance for Google too,
Yeah,
which worries me a little bit.
it's kind of like, is this, is this Google saying Let's Plays from now on, biggest risk thing you can do, or
Yeah, it's a little bit worrying.
And YouTube has always had a bad stance on Let's Plays as is. The
Yes.
copyright strike system does not favor Let's Players at all.
Yeah, but I think they allow it because it's making them a crap ton of money. Like, pretty much more money than anything else is making them right now. Well, I don't know if that's true. You can't say that it's making it more than everything else combined or anything, but I think more than almost any other individual facet, gaming channels are making them, like, massive, like, millions of dollars. So they basically allow it, and then if one of the channels that actually makes the stuff gets screwed, oh well, we warned you.
That's what I'm thinking is what their biggest thing is. But it's such a dumb policy though.
Yeah.
To just be like, well, if this is YouTube and Google's like official stance, and this is kind of I'm just gonna say a bitch stance. It's kind of like we don't want to even try to defend you.
Oh no, they YouTube said a bitch stance for a very long period of time. They just really don't want to get sued.
Yeah.
And they really don't care. They just don't care. Like their entire to be honest, like YouTube's system actually used to be a lot worse. Because before it'd be like if you got a copyright strike, they would just delete your channel. Like there was none of this 3 strike stuff. You had 1 strike. Like back in the day, Let's Player channels would just get like nuked, which is part of the reason I'm so paranoid because I know people that got nuked before I started doing it. Like you just go on and they'd be gone one day with no explanation. Like YouTube wouldn't even tell you what the violation was.
Yeah,
your
now
channel
at least
just
they tell you that.
Yeah, they tell you what it is. You have a chance to appeal. As long as you don't get 3 at once, you're fine.
But with Let's Playing,
oh, with Let's Playing, you can easily,
yeah.
Yeah, if you get 1 copyright strike, they take away your ability to upload 15-minute videos and to make unlisted videos. Which would be it for most Let's Play channels.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be enough to stop them right there.
And the biggest thing is, like, it's easy to pick up a copyright strike as a Let's Play channel.
Yes.
It's extremely easy. And most of them aren't even, like, valid, I would say. A lot of them are just stupid.
Yeah, and the invalid ones, a lot of times you can dispute them, even as a small channel. But sometimes you will actually pick one up from a company and they won't get rid of it, and then you have a problem. And it's happened to pretty... Oh, well, Sega was a whole different thing. That was... Yeah. Like, that almost... If it... Like, Total Biscuit's, like, still boycotting them, actually.
Yeah.
Which is completely understandable.
They deserve it, the douchebags.
Yeah, no, it was just some... It was Sega of Japan just decided to go and give copyright strikes to anyone who mentioned Shining Force. And note, I did say mention. I didn't necessarily say people with gameplay footage. Some people were just talking about Shining Force, which is not legal to do. And a lot of people think they did it to increase their search rankings because they're coming out with a new Shining Force game, so they looked at all of the high-level videos, and they just gave them copyright strikes so that their video would be higher than theirs. Again, not legal.
No,
but,
not at all.
Yeah, they still got away with it. What's YouTube going to do? They don't care. They just don't want to get sued.
Because YouTube's a bitch company.
Pretty much.
If they would just grow its spine, things would be a little bit better, but, you know.
The problem is they have no financial incentive to grow a spine.
I know, that's terrible.
So they're not going to. It's like...
Their financial incentive is we can either keep getting Let's Plays from, this particular channel, or just say screw it and let that channel die, since that channel is probably not giving us much money anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, they focus... Pretty much the channels that are under Machinima are the ones that YouTube actually cares about.
Yeah.
So, that's unfortunate to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if there's, like... If there's been further explanation for this policy from the executives, or if they just sent this out and no one knows what the hell's going on.
I still think no one knows what the hell's going on, because this was sent out, I think, Friday or Saturday. And the person that I know, like the person I took this quote from, they haven't said anything else about it.
Wow.
And they said that they did send an email back to Machinima to see what was up. So,
like, when would...
Machinima! Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to put that
Crazy.
there.
Like, when did this break exactly? When was this posted?
This was posted on either Friday or Saturday, the same day I sent you the message on YouTube. So the
Okay, yeah,
10th.
so I can see how there might not be more updates at this point. Because it's a similar thing with the Nintendo thing, where Nintendo was flagging people or threatened to flag people. It actually happened like 2 months before anyone found out about it. It was just some person eventually was just like, yeah, this happened. So they probably don't even want people to know about this.
Well, they sent emails to all of the people like under them about it, and that's what
Yeah,
they laid out this new ground rule.
yeah.
But nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So awkward silence for a second because I ended my sentence.
Yeah, no, oh god, I'm dying. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens with this, but
Yeah.
it's definitely concerning.
Yes. But as long as it doesn't, I haven't seen any let's players under Machinima get affected yet by
Yeah,
like getting a copyright strike or whatever. So
mm,
I'm not really sure what that actually like what all this entailed. So,
yeah. And the Nintendo thing didn't have nearly as far-reaching effect as everyone was worried about.
yeah, so it'll just be
Like,
interesting to see how this develops.
yeah,
I can say one thing though, like this policy is going to turn off like potentially big let's players from signing with Machinima. That's for sure.
definitely.
But that'll bring us to. Well, it would have been a nice segue had I done this properly, but the next segue was going to be into indie games, the general market for indie games,
Uh,
which I was going to say probably looking pretty good because of Machinima's policy
yes.
and because of various other things. But what would you say? Like, how do you feel about in the indie game market right now? Do you think it's thriving or do you think it's
Oh,
overzealous in its
I,
reach?
I definitely think it's thriving. Um, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of crappy indie games, but I don't hear about them. I just
Yeah.
hear about the good ones. I mean, it's kind of the same with the Let's Playing market. Like, people have said that it's oversaturated and stuff, which is kind of true, but it's just like, you just don't watch the ones you don't like. It's
Yeah.
fine. And unfortunately, there are some really good indie games that don't get any attention, but I think more of the good ones get attention than
The bad
has been.
ones.
Yeah. And that number just seems to be increasing lately. Like, there are definitely channels and other websites and outlets that are basically just dedicated to finding awesome ones and getting them to people's attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it wasn't for the indie game market, I'd probably be pretty depressed about video games in general, and would have been for the last few years. I mean, there's been some pretty good big titles, but it just seems like the frequency of games that I'm interested in has definitely decreased in the last few years in the mainstream market.
Yeah, a lot of the better games coming out have definitely been indie games, such as Awesome Knots, which is one of your favorite games.
Oh, I love Awesome Nuts.
Yeah.
I don't play it as much as before because I played it for like 700 hours, but I've played it for 700 hours.
Yeah, definitely something that he was very excited about.
Yeah. So that's damn great. And just I'm playing Gunpoint now, another indie game made by like one guy. That game's amazing. That got a decent amount of coverage.
Yeah.
I have so many indie games. Like I bought a whole lot during the sale.
Yeah, that's another thing. The indie game market's even more like buffed because it has the the indie royale that's well known,
Yes.
and the humble indie bundle that's well known.
Mhm.
Like a lot of people go there because it's it's for charity, and B you get pretty much free games. It's $1 down, and you get a bunch of games on humble indie bundle.
Yeah, and I've got to think there's some independent games that have done better than like AAA titles at this point, just because some of them cost almost no money to make. They just cost like two guys sacrificing 5 years of their life.
Pretty
So,
much.
Yeah. So definitely, I like the indie games, and that's another thing. As far as Let's Plays, if they ever become essentially not okay, it's just going to be people playing indie games at that point because the indie markets actually like people promoting them.
Yeah. Which
So that's
is always funny to me.
Mm. But yeah, how do you feel about the indie market? You got
I
any-
feel like it's definitely not over. I feel like there is some oversaturation, but it's not hurting the market at all for indie games.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody looks at like just general indie games and says, "Oh, that sucks," because this last indie game I played was terrible. I'm waiting
Hope
for
not.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a bunch of different developers, so it's not like they can just be like, well, this indie game and this indie developer sucked, so that one must. Like, they can't. That'd be the same as saying, well, Konami's a failure company,
Hmm.
so fuck Bandai, Namco, whatever. It's like the
Is
same thing as that, pretty much.
Bandai around anymore?
Yeah, they're still making the Tekkens and all the fighting games under Namco or whatever.
Oh, I don't know Bandai made Tekkens. Oh,
Well, Namco makes them. I think Bandai publishes them. Is that right?
oh maybe.
Because Bandai also publishes animes, I believe, on their own like
Yeah,
personal channels.
I know that Bandai, as far as the anime side in America, has been having huge financial problems for years. Though I wasn't even sure they were still in that market.
I'm not sure if they're. Well, I know they're anime. They're still publishing animes in Japan, where they have like a specific. I think they have a specific channel for it, like
Gotcha.
on television. So
Yeah, they're the ones that made all the toys too. I think for like Power Rangers and other stuff like that.
yeah, so that'll be. It'd be interesting to see them fail at this point. They'd have to really screw up.
Yes. Oh god.
You're gonna die a horrible death.
Probably. I might actually die in recording, which would be kind of fancy.
That would be the most fancy way you could possibly go out. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think anybody would have a fancier way.
Maybe if there were sparkles, but those wouldn't be visible. But I would know.
That just. Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Yes. So let me look at your other topics. Let's see.
There should only be two more topics. I believe one of them was the zombie genre, which tied into
Yes.
indie games because a lot of indie games coming out have been based around the zombie genre.
Oh yeah, for
And
years.
I wanted to know, which I'm pretty sure I already know your opinion on this, but how do you feel about the genre? Both how do you feel about the zombie genre, and do you feel it's currently oversaturated?
Yeah, well, I pretty much made my channel because of zombie games. But
That's
like
why
if it
you're the
wasn't,
expert.
well, yeah, if it wasn't for zombie games, I wouldn't have a channel right now. Like every single really highly successful thing I've had, it's been related to zombies, like Rebuild, Plants vs Zombies, Die Tonight,
Zombie trailer park.
Zombie
or whatever.
Trailer Park, all of them, all of the big ones were zombies. And I honestly think it's becoming a little bit less saturated because there was a period about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, where it was ridiculous how many zombie games there were. It was completely insane. And there's still zombie games, but it's actually a little bit less.
But it's still a lot in retrospect to like other
Oh,
genres.
definitely, definitely. But I think it might be mellowing out a little bit.
Hopefully it is.
You didn't
Because,
see, what is it, World War Z or whatever, did you?
the movie?
Yeah,
No.
I've been hearing it's weird.
It looked. I'll be honest. It looked completely stupid. So
Yeah, dude, the trailer I was watching with two other people. I was the only one that knew it was a zombie movie. Like, there's one part where there's these things, and it looked like an ocean of things coming after someone, and I think they were supposed to be zombies, but they easily could have been a stream of red scorpions. Like, it was impossible to tell what the hell was going on.
yeah, like just what they do with the zombies in that movie just completely turned me off from it. So
Yeah.
I'm a fan of slow moving zombies, and if I'm gonna have fast moving zombies, I want them to at least be visible. Like
Yeah, not
28
zombie
days later.
river. It's Zombie River. Like, who the hell has Zombie River? There's like Parasite Eve, where like all the people in the
Old
ferry turn
Man
into
River.
pink Jill. You want Old Man River zombies?
Yes.
Because that's really slow. Old Man River is even slower than zombies.
We would
So it's
survive
zombie-
that so easily. Let's
Oh,
just be
yeah.
honest.
No, we could actually just kind of nudge someone, they'd fall over, and he'd probably break his hip. All the zombies would break their hips, and then we just get on with our lives.
Yeah, they would try to crawl after us, but it'd be so much. They'd move like an inch per day.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a threat. And if it bit you, it wouldn't even break your skin. It'd be like a fish.
Yeah, pretty much.
God, it'd be terrible.
But yeah, I'm trying to... I can't think of too many indie games that I've seen recently that had zombies in them.
Well, if you go to Greenlight, there's always a number of them.
So I'm probably just not hearing about them because they're not getting actually greenlit.
Yeah, well, the main zombie games as of now would be obviously Daisy, Standalone, and whatever the War Z named itself to Infestion or whatever.
Infestion, yes. The game where Companion tries to trick us to playing it by being a bastard.
Pretty much.
Good thing our cynicism saved us.
And then there's also the Dead Linger, which is being built on an entirely new engine than what they were previously doing. So,
Yeah.
but that's about all the big ones that I can think of.
Mm.
And I'm
Yeah, as far
wondering,
as like the 2D ones or whatever, like the ones that I've played, I haven't really. The last one I played was Oregon Trail,
yeah,
and that came out like a year or so ago. So
I'm wondering if part of the reason we're not hearing as much about them is because there's so many, so it's hard for like the really good ones to shine in that situation, or the really bad ones. But War Z found a way.
yeah, I mean it's possible. I'm also I think they're like I'm under the impression there are actually less than previously. When I was following Flash games, also I haven't seen as many zombie Flash games, and there were tons of them.
Oh yeah, zombie
Yeah,
flash games. For a while, that was the thing.
that was all people were making, and it made sense because if you had zombie in the title, people would go to it. I
Yeah,
certainly did.
I did too. There was a whole website actually dedicated to just zombie flash games,
Yeah.
and it would get more flash games on it than Armor Games did at one point. So
Well, that's crazy.
yeah,
Ugh.
but that's that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that genre. I don't know how it. I'm not even sure how really it's looking anymore because it's kind of stagnated. To be
Yeah,
honest.
which is probably fine. Like, there's just trends. Zombies
Yeah.
aren't quite as popular.
They could go back up though. Maybe the Dead Linger will be like the best zombie game ever, and it'll just blow people's minds. Or the standalone for DayZ. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
It seems to follow movie trends also. Like, there is a big cavalcade of zombie movies like 5 years ago also.
yeah, and not all of them were good.
No. No, there's a vampire thing.
Yeah, it's just
Now it
trends.
seems like there's a fairy tale thing for a while where people just take old tales and make them new again. Like there's a Snow White thing, and there's the what is it, Robin Hood, and it was a bunch of others. I swear there was like 10 of them. I just get Little Red Riding Hood, Werewolf Hunter, whatever the hell it was. Like there was just so many.
Yeah, I remember that too. And not again. Some of those were good. Some
Yeah,
not so much.
I don't think I've seen any of them. Well, no, I saw the Snow White one with that girl from Twilight. Uh, some people are just in bad movies, but they can actually act, and you don't know.
Yeah.
The girl in Twilight's not one of them. She definitely can't act. Like, that was, oh god, it was
No.
painful. She has no facial expressions. It's creepy. And then there was Charlize Theron who was playing the evil queen, and she was acting up a damn storm! And it was even worse in comparison to the other girl who, like, didn't even, it's like, smile. It's like, no, that's your normal face. Oh, screw it, just be angry? No, that's your normal, oh, screw it. People will watch you anyway because you're in Twilight.
Best philosophies.
It was painful.
Was it though, or was it just secretly the best thing ever?
No, it actually wasn't. There's some movies that were terrible and they are secretly the best thing ever. That was not one of them. It was boring. It was a type of bad that you can't even make fun of, except for when she was supposed to have emotion and just look normal. It's like, oh no, I'm being chased by an ogre, or I'm at the supermarket buying raisins. Like, it was the same expression. Like, oh, for God's
Can
sake.
you figure out which one's happening? It's like it's almost that scene to me is almost like Dora the Explorer episode.
Yeah.
Which way should we go? The obvious way or the slightly less obvious way?
It was pretty much that.
God damn it.
Uh,
But
yeah, zombies. Yay.
good genre if done right, and Cross is selling point for YouTube's.
Pretty much. That's why my icon is me as a zombie. It's the only reason.
Corpse Knights. Good job there.
Corpse Knights.
He never got. Did he? No, he did. He did debut for you. I
Yes.
believe definitely in the Dying Tonight, right?
I mentioned him. I was going to do videos as him, and then I decided not to.
Well, didn't you not die? Either?
Yes. I didn't die until like the last one, so I was like, ah, screw it, I'm not gonna do it for the last.
It's like, this is worthless. Meh.
I just kept on living for no good reason. The odds were totally against me like 3 nights in a row.
It was because you were the YouTuber covering it, and they needed you to stay alive, so...
Clearly. Yeah, I was like one of the last 12 people to be alive out of, what is it, 240?
They actually, like, went into the coding and prevented you from dying, and, you know, towards the end, when it got down to, like, would he actually win, they were like, no, because now he's the favorite, so then they made you die.
Well, I actually pretty much killed myself.
Shut up.
To make it more epic. Because there was only like a 5% chance that I would live, so I'm like, screw it, I'm gonna go back to town and put a bunch of mattresses in my house and get all of the deco points. Take that. Whatever, it worked out.
Yeah, well, if you say so.
Yes.
Popular videos. But that's interesting thing that we could have talked about for another... No, we couldn't have.
No, well, I don't even know if people know what we're talking about.
No, and we were reaching anyway for that last 5 minutes of filler commentary.
That's fine. I'm just trying not to die.
Yeah, well.
And become a zombie.
Oh, we haven't explained why Companion's not here, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately...
we don't have the image to support either, so...
Yeah, he was thrown into a fire. It was the fate of all companion cubes.
While we were preparing for the podcast, Gladys called Cross and I up, and she was like, I have a test for you.
Yeah, and we weren't going to do it, but then she closed the door to our houses.
And she offered cake, so...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to eat the cake. I hear it has cyanide in it, but, you know, it was nice of her to offer.
Yeah, so we kind of had to, and we haven't gotten our new companion yet. She hasn't sent us the next one. So.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a python.
That's what I'm hoping, but she did say it was a cube, which makes me sad. So I'm hoping it's a python cube.
That'd be pretty great. I'd be fine with that.
Yeah. If it's just the same cube that we've seen, like, I don't know, how many tests have we done? 88?
That sounds about right, yeah.
If it's the same one from all of them, I might be a little bit sad, I'll be honest.
Oh, well.
At least,
it's fine, we'll replace them.
At least it'll give us a reason to throw them into the next incinerator.
Yeah, as if we needed a reason.
We hate him.
But no, he's on vacation or something, because he actually likes to go on week vacations with his families to amusement parks and aunts and uncles and
to incinerators.
And to incinerators. Those ones he enjoys slightly less, but we always nudge him along, and he always comes out the better for it.
Does he, though?
I don't know, I just thought I'd encourage him while he's on fire. He'll be back. He'll be fun.
I hope he never comes back. Dun dun dun. He better come back as a python. Just, that would get him all the views on the YouTube.
That'd be pretty great, but he'd have to elongate all his S's, which could get tedious after a while. Oh well.
It really would.
Yeah. I think you had one other topic.
One other main topic. A lot of games recently have been coming out with, like making you play females, like in Final Fantasy whatever, with Lightning, as well as, or having females just as a primary protagonist, such as Dead Space 3 and The Last of Us.
You play as a female in Dead Space 3?
No, she's just a main protagonist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not a playable character, but she's a main part of the story.
Gotcha.
And in Last of Us, there's obviously his daughter, so...
Yes, Ellen Page.
So, I want to know, how do you feel about female protagonists, whether playable or not?
I don't want to play as no women. No, I think it's actually a good thing, obviously. And it seems like there's more female protagonists that are actually portrayed in a non-ridiculous way.
Non-sex appeal way, yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm still fine with the Lara Crofts and Lollipop Chainsaws, to be honest. Especially because Lollipop Chainsaw is like a parody of that type of character anyway. But yeah, no, like apparently the last Tomb Raider was pretty awesome as far as the main character.
Well, Tomb Raider has never really made Laura be this bosom bimboed chick. They've never really done that. They've always made her kind of be a badass, so...
Yes, but her breasts were a little stupidly large. And the thing is, I don't know how many people actually played the original Tomb Raider, but in the full motion video, her breasts were bigger than they are now, or even in the other ones. Like, it was comical. It was like they were literally bigger than her head by a large margin. Like, I don't, unless I'm pretty sure I'm not remembering this wrong, but it was ridiculous. And supposedly, as legend has it, the people who were making her were playing around, and one of them accidentally made the breast like twice as big, and they all liked it. They're just like, screw it, we'll leave it in. Which is supposedly why her breasts are that big. But no, Tomb Raider actually was one of the first like really strong female protagonists. It was kind of ruined by breasts the size of Pluto,
Well,
which
yeah.
it is the smallest planet. Well,
But
it's not a planet, but
there is a good part to the sex appeal thing, and that's just if you have a strong female character and you want to get attention for her, the sex appeal route is an easy way of doing that. And then people see she's a strong character and will like her for more than just the sex appeal part.
yeah. Though to be honest, I would like to see that fat woman with like I don't know, the wielded chairs or something. I don't know. That'd be kind of great.
Okay then.
Like two chairs that are on a chain. Chair chucks. I want to see a fat woman with chair chucks as the next protagonist. I would play that game. Look, I like non-typical characters, so it would actually be better if she was an old fat woman with chair chucks. Oh, that'd be amazing. That's the indie game I would make.
Alright then.
I'm not even kidding. That is totally the indie game I would make. And you know what? There can be other characters or whatever, but she would be the main one. Like, you know when they have like the three characters in the box art and the one in the center is the main character?
Yeah.
Yeah, Fat Chair Truck Woman is definitely the main character.
Oh my god.
I would totally... Oh god, that'd be so great. And it'd be like a top-down beat-em-up. And there'd be different weapons, but... Oh, alright, never mind. I'm thinking about this way too much. But no, like, Bloody Roar, I think, was the fighting game. The first one did have this, like, really big fat woman that turned into a boar, because that game is all about them turning into different animals.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had, like, this weird-looking guy that turned into a monkey or whatever. Alright, the second game, the fat boar woman was replaced with this cute little cat girl. And I remember being pissed off. Because they had one of the most unique-looking characters ever. Like, she was great. She looked like she was, like, a maid or something. Well, not like a maid, but, like, someone who, like, cleans kitchens. Like, she had, like, a do-rag. And she just looked like maybe she worked at a bar and she could just throw down and punch guys in the face. And it was awesome. And she had a move where she just, like, slammed people and be like, out of my way! It was great. It was amazing. And then they obviously probably had, like, a focus group or something. They just replaced her with a cute little cat girl that was supposedly her daughter or some BS. And then for every sequential Bloody Roar, it was just a cute little cat girl.
Why don't they just put both characters in?
They could have, yeah. That would have been fine.
That would have been the way I would have done it.
It just seems like there's no room for unique characters for the most part. It's the same thing with SSX. There were a whole bunch of interesting characters. And in the next game, it was pretty much the most standard safe characters are the only ones that they kept. It was kind of sad. Like, they had, like, this bald black woman. How many times have you seen that? She was just on her freaking snowboard. And they had this, like, really fat guy from the south with a mullet. And of course he was gone. And his special move was to ride the surfboard like a bucking bronco.
You know, a lot of fighting games tend to stay definitely in the visually appealing character rather than the, eccentric character.
Yeah, which they shouldn't. Like, there's a lot less variance then. I don't want to see, like, a whole bunch of just guys with blonde, spiky hair.
Yeah.
Going, "Boo-da-da!"
And
Like,
that's probably one of the... Like, Tekken does it in a way that at least each character is different in some fashion. But overall, most of them look, pretty much the same.
yeah.
Like, all the guys are one of 4 different build types. All the girls, one of 4 different build types.
Yeah, although Dr. Boskanovich, best character ever, incapable of standing for long periods of time, normal fighting stance, on his back, writhing on the floor. You could stand up, but if someone hit you, even if you block, you'd fall back on your back. Best character ever. One of the best moves, he would cross his leg and slide on his ass across the floor. Best character that has ever existed.
Shit, yeah.
Best was Dr. B battle. 2 Dr. Bs. Almost impossible because both of them would be on their back, and there's no moves you can really do there except hit people that are standing up. Oh, those were the days. Dr. B battles.
Oh, god damn it.
And then just like in the newer Tekken, there's even less crazy character. Like I understand them not bringing people like Gon back in, who's just a little dinosaur that didn't even make sense in any of those games. But I don't know. I'm surprised they haven't gotten rid of Heihachi because he's an old man.
Well, he's an integral part of the story, and he's a main like boss.
That's true. Although he usually gets killed like every other game, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind."
Well,
like,
yes. In the canon, wasn't he killed in 2 or 3 by his son?
In the first one, he got thrown off of a cliff, and the intro to the second game is him climbing up the cliff. He was just okay for no good reason.
Yeah, they've killed him a stupid amount of times, I believe.
Jin beat the crap out of him until he was unconscious and chucked him off a cliff. And then another one, he was blown up, and his body was flung several miles away. And he just, like, walked back to his facility. It doesn't even make any sense.
I mean, honestly, he is still a badass, though, just because they brought him back so many different times.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought that he was a robot for a while. Like, maybe that explained why he wouldn't die. No, he's just an old man. A very, very durable old man.
Yeah, the only robot they have is the whole Jack series of robot, which might be one of the worst characters they've ever introduced, in my opinion.
Jack is terrible.
Yeah, he's terrible. He has no storyline, really, other than he's this robot made by Dr. whatever his face.
Yeah, Dr. Baskanovich's rival, Dr. Abel or something like that.
Yeah, and the only part of the storylines that he gets blown up repeatedly and replaced.
Yes,
who the hell cares?
Every single game, I think he dies. It's kind of great.
Like, I don't understand him as a character. Why they keep bringing him back, other than to kill him. I mean, I'm fine with them killing him, but
yeah,
actually having to fight him in the storyline is so boring.
Yeah, I don't like playing as him either. He's just weird.
He's just dumb.
Although Gunjack has a move where he flies, and you can keep on hitting the button to fly higher and higher and higher. And if you fly to the maximum height and hit the person, you pretty much killed them. Because he's a 300-pound robot that just landed on your head.
Yeah, so...
It is kind of great seeing Nina throw him, though.
Although, since we're already off topic and on fighting games anyway, do you... I know that I, for one, prefer Street Fighter, like, visually over Tekken, just because they are way more willing to use the odd, more interesting characters than Tekken is. Like, Hugo, for instance, badass German. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, you know what? I'll go with that. Like, Street Fighter has actually probably gotten more weird as the years have gone on, which is kind of like the only fighting game I can think of that's done that. Everything else gets safer. And honestly, my favorite visual design is Guilty Gears. Those characters are amazing.
Those characters are, in fact, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've made a new Guilty Gear anytime recently.
No,
which is unfortunate.
We gotta play X2.
We do.
I'm so down for them.
We do.
I'm gonna buy that today, you watch.
You probably won't, but...
I probably will at the same time that I make my Twitch account.
So never. Glad we established that.
Oh, my allergies have started to clear up, so that's good. But like, no, that game has just so many unique ideas. Like, there's an assassin that kills people with a pool cue and pool balls. And you can set the balls up around the map and then hit them, and they'll actually go in the same angles that they would if they were real pool balls. So if you're insane, you can set up like ridiculous combos. I just put them everywhere and then hit them at the least expected time. And the first time I played, I was like, I want to play as a character with cool hair, and I picked Milia. Her weapon is her hair. It was amazing.
That game definitely has the most unique fighting styles.
Yeah,
of
it's
any
great.
Game.
And it's really fast-paced, and it's smooth, and it feels awesome, and it has a great storyline. And the storyline's really complicated. It has to do with, like, time travel and crap. Like, apparently the entire reason that the world wasn't destroyed was because there was a time traveler that saved Kai Kiska so that he could actually fight in the resistance against the Gears. Like, in the original timeline, the world was destroyed. Like, it's like, for God's sakes, it's awesome. And it takes place in, like, the post-apocalypse where Japan has been destroyed, and there's only, like, 100 Japanese people left on Earth.
Yeah, that is. It's actually a pretty big shame that that hasn't been like that didn't become like Street Fighter and just be a thing
Yeah,
that
because to be
came out.
honest, and I got to say this right now, I like Guilty Gear better than Street Fighter as far as the 2D like sprite based games. I think it was better than Alphas and all the other ones.
Yeah, and if it was made 3D, which I don't know how they would do that, but if
Yeah,
it was, it probably with its crazy fighting styles, probably be the best thing ever.
yeah,
I mean, then pool cue balls would matter so much more.
yes. Oh my god, yeah.
Imagine
Go
that in a
back
3D
to
environment. Holy crap!
Oh, that'd be amazing.
But that'd be pretty phenomenal.
You know, I'd play the crap out of that. It's one of the games where the fights can look so good that they can look like an anime fight sometimes if people do it right.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I love that game. Yeah, I need to buy that. Make a Twitch account. And then we're gonna play it, Relic.
God
Oh, we're
damn
gonna
it.
play it. Assuming it has online versus, which it
That
better.
is true. We don't know if it has online versus, but it better.
Yeah, because otherwise, what the hell?
What's the
I
point
should
of it
probably
then?
yeah, I should probably research that before I get it.
But
Yeah, female protagonists. They
yeah.
need to have hair that fights for them, or a giant anchor, or actually be a boy but wear a dress.
Or at least have a good storyline. Let's put that there.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure too. Yeah, that also. But
God.
yeah, the new Tomb Raiders like even. I think they essentially like took out like the ridiculous sexuality because she's a lot younger also, and it looked pretty good. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and in The Last of Us, they handled, like, I haven't played the game, but I've watched a Let's Play mostly through, and they
Mhm.
handle Ellie pretty well, or
Cool.
whatever her name is.
Ellen Page.
Ellen. I think
It's not
she's,
even voiced by Ellen Page. It just looks like her,
eh,
which is kind of funny to me. And there's some other game that looks like Ellen Page and actually is voiced by Ellen Page that came out around the same time, which is also weird.
but that, like, they handled her pretty well. It's a pretty
Yeah.
dynamic character.
I do want to play The Last of Us, but it's probably going to be a while.
Yeah.
I'm
Isn't it only on the PS? I thought it was only on the PlayStation 3, though.
maybe, but is it? It's not going to be like the first Dead Awaken, is it? Like they'll probably release it on PC eventually, won't they?
I have no idea.
Oh well. If they don't, I'll get a PS3 one day.
One day. And then I can kill you in Tekken Revolution.
Probably. No, I'm going to be training. I'll train, then I'll win.
They've actually they've actually been adding a lot of characters. I'm hoping that they add more of the cast from like 5 and 4 and
Yeah. The thing with this Tekken is I actually would need to train because that game you need to practice or it's just terrible and you
if you
die.
don't know the combos, you can't win fights. It's just
Yeah, it's great. It's like you can't button mash. Like if you button mash, someone who's slightly more skilled will actually beat you, which is not the case of most fighting games.
yeah. I mean, you can button mash to some extent with certain characters. Like for Lily, for instance,
Mhm.
her button mashing they'll actually sometimes flow pretty well.
Mhm.
But for the most part, most characters, no, they will just not flow at all, and you look like an absolute idiot.
Unless you're playing as Eddie Gordo. Oh wait, all right. Here's what pisses me off. They took out Eddie Gordo and replaced him with Breast McGee, which Eddie Gordo was more interesting. I'm sorry. Like Christina has no personality. It's just, I want to save my father that's in prison.
Yo,
Yeah, well, you know
it's-
what? Eddie Gordo's father was killed. That was cooler. He was dead. There was no saving him from prison.
And also, Eddie just looked awesome.
Yeah, he was great. He had two outfits. He had like the capoeira outfit that looked like he was on an island, and then he had just one where he was just like had like shirt and jeans and crap, and he had sunglasses and he was a badass with his dreadlocks, and he just took him out of the game. And it's like, oh no, he's an alternate costume for Chris. Shut up. No, he needed his own damn storyline. I wanted to find out what happened, and then they suggested that. Oh, screw whatever. I'm still angry about that.
They've taken out quite a few good characters from Tekken,
Mhm.
that's for sure.
Yeah, like that's a like that. I just feel like they replaced him with like a sex appeal character
Yeah.
that had no personality. Oh, but Eddie was her master. No, shut up. He wasn't in the game anymore.
Is what's her name? Nina and Anna, are they still in the game?
Uh,
Series?
I believe so.
Because
And there's
I haven't played Tekken 5 in forever, so I can't actually remember this.
yeah, there's BS with that because the other Tekken games take like they keep on all the other characters keep on getting older and older. Like Paul's essentially an old man now because it's been like
I thought he
40
was only
years.
like 50 or 60.
He might be. I know there was one game where 30 years passed. But the entire thing with Nina and Anna is they keep on getting cryogenically frozen or some other BS as an excuse to keep them young. Also, Anna's a crappy character.
Anna
Like,
is a crappy character. She
just like, well, just like her storyline and everything, she doesn't have one. Nina actually has interesting things happen to her, and Anna's just kind of there to be a jerk.
I
And
kind of
looks like
feel
she
like
can't-
they've sort of replaced Anna with Lily,
Okay.
because Lily is Lily is kind of like the same girly character, like girly kind of character, but Lily is just so much cooler.
Yeah.
So much cooler. If you haven't seen Lily yet, have you?
No.
Other than that one time that you looked at her like picture because I mentioned her.
Yeah, and I was like, I have no idea who the hell.
She's just awesome as far as her storyline. Like she's just this pampered girl who's like, you know what? I like fighting, and so she just goes around beating the shit out of people.
No, that makes it because there is no reason to have Nina and Anna. They had almost all the same moveset also,
Yeah.
and Anna was dumb. But they do that in Tekken. They used to have a lot of characters that had essentially the same moves as another character, like
Although
Yoshimitsu and Kumimitsu.
Yeah, but they've gotten better at taking out some of those extra characters, like the lesser interesting of them,
Yes.
which is good because that's definitely a benefit to those kind of games.
Yeah.
You can't have too many characters doing the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm. So if there's like 80 different Jacks.
Well,
In Tekken Tag though, they just had like all the characters, and I think there were 5 different Jacks. It was like Jack, Jack 2, Gun Jack, Prototype Jack, and maybe there's only 4. Whatever. That's ridiculous.
yeah. Oh well. Probably should stop talking about that before we bore everyone.
Yeah, it was too late for that.
Clearly,
But
clearly we got off on a tangent about fighting games.
yeah, there's not a lot of like fighting games are such a specialized thing. Like there are a lot of people that play tons of different genres of video games, and they still don't play fighting games
Yeah.
because it's just so specialized. But yeah, anyone who wasn't interested in fighting games probably already nodded off. But
Probably really upset.
whatever.
But
Well, they can deal with it.
we'll go on to my last final topic before we finish up here.
Mhm.
So there's a new Xseed Games, one of my personal favorite publishers for Japanese games to America, is releasing Senran Kagura Burst, which consists of 2 games: the original story, which is titled Skirting Shadows, and the Hanzo Academy, and the Crimson Girls section of the game as well.
Mhm.
This is important because it's only getting a digital release here, and that's been the center of a huge shitstorm with people complaining about digital. But then it got brought up again because in Europe it's getting a physical release.
Ooh.
So they've been having a lot of crap thrown at them about this, about digital, versus physical garbage, and how people don't want to play it because it's digital and you didn't even take the risk to make it physical or whatever.
And let me guess, you were just going to get a digital copy anyway, right?
Yes. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell does this matter?
Yeah.
But I wanted to get your opinion. What do you think about digital versus physical? What do you think about the risks of physical versus the risks of digital? And just how do you feel about it?
Yeah, well, if you had asked me that like 2 years ago before I discovered Steam, I would have told you screw digital. Like I don't want to deal. I want to actually own the goddamn game. I don't want to have it just exist in bits where it can be destroyed or like tied to some ridiculous DRM. But pretty much all of the games I've bought in the last few years have been digital now. I think I've only bought like maybe 3 actual discs in the last year. And all of those were ordered off online because GameStop doesn't have PlayStation 2 games anymore. So it's just the way we're going. Like people are going to drag their feet, but it's the way we're going. It just makes more sense at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree. But how do you feel about it, like risk reward wise? And do you think it's not as good? Like, do you think it's lazier for a company to release digitally instead of physically?
Well, maybe because I don't have to deal with like shipping and whatnot. But honestly, if more customers are buying digital than physical, which I don't know if it's the case, in my little narrow worldview, it seems like it's the case because everyone I know buys more digital games than physical. But I don't know. Like, what is the risk really besides like servers going down or something?
For
Is
digital,
that yeah,
there's really just no risk for digital. That's kind of like the point for a lot of people. There's no risk for
yeah.
digital.
That's true. Because no, I have games that don't work anymore. Rival Schools, one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Let's talk about more fighting games. I stepped on the disc. You know how like hard it is to find that game. I haven't played that game in 10 years because I stepped on the stupid disc. Like,
Oh my god.
like if I had that game digitally, I would still play that game.
Because you could just reinstall it.
Exactly. I mean, there is work. Like, what if though, like Valve went under? What would happen to your Steam library? I mean, people are concerned about things like that. Like,
Well,
it'd just be gone, right?
you can recover all of your Steam keys. That's for you can at any time you can look at any of your Steam keys. Well, for most games you can. I don't know, for some are weird, but for most games you can get your Steam keys. And I'm assuming if Valve went under, that you'd
Mhm.
be able to redeem those keys at the publisher's website at that point, or some other website. Like I'm
Okay.
sure there'd be some way to do that, and they most publishers would probably be like, "Hey, if you guys bought my stuff and Valve sucks, so go here and redeem your keys."
I would hope so. That's definitely the optimistic view. I feel like a lot of publishers might be like, well, you can buy the game again. Or like they went under also, and it's like, well, never playing that again. But then
Yeah.
you go to like the Xbox 360 and Xbox One are not going to be backwardly compatible. So there are certain games that are exclusive to the Xbox that won't be able to be played anymore. Like eventually Xboxes are just going to fail. People aren't going to have too many of them. Those games are actually going to disappear because there's no digital equivalent of them.
Yeah.
I mean, Wii's actually changed that now because you can buy like Super Nintendo games. But for a while, if you wanted to play a Super Nintendo game, the illegal version of it, the ROMs, were pretty much the only way you were going to play it, unless you somehow owned a Super Nintendo that worked still. I
Yeah,
mean,
the
my
same,
Super Nintendo hasn't worked for like 10 years.
the same to a lesser extent could be applied to the PlayStation, where the PlayStation 3 wasn't after its initial release and the problems it had, it was no longer backwards compatible.
Hmm.
So you had to play all PS2 and PS1 games on a PS2
Yeah.
if you still had one.
Yeah, and a bunch of people got rid of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, especially when they're like, "Oh, it's backwardsly compatible. I don't need it anymore."
And then they had that shitstorm where they took it off and bad things happened. But
Yeah.
to my knowledge, Sony, the PS4 is going to be compatible with the PS3 games. I'm not sure if the
Really?
disc-based games, but anything that you downloaded from the PlayStation Network, they said will work on the PS4.
Okay, and that's huge because that's not the case with the Xbox. If you downloaded Xbox Arcade Live games, too bad. You better keep your 360.
Yeah, it seems like they're just completely gone. And I don't even think I'm not even sure if your Xbox Live account can carry over from one to the next.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not even sure if you can be like, I have a 360 account that's gold, if you're allowed to take that and put it on the Xbox One. But with the PlayStation, if you're a PlayStation Network member, you're still a PlayStation Network member. It's just,
Yeah,
which I kind of
no,
think is probably Sony just saying fuck you to Microsoft.
pretty much. And the thing is, Microsoft has done a lot to reverse some of the ridiculous things recently, like the always-on DRM and the not being able to share used games. They took that away, so you can now. But yeah, you got to look at things like that also. If you can't transfer some of your digital games either, like even those aren't backwardsly compatible. They're
Yeah.
digital. They work on both platforms. You want me to buy them again? Like, are you kidding me? I can still just the thing is, if I was gonna get one, I'd definitely get a PS4, but I'm not gonna get either of them.
Yeah, I mean,
So I don't know if my opinion matters that much.
honestly, Cross Knights fans, you're lucky if he ends up with a PlayStation 3 or an Xbox 360 in the near future. But he has one Xbox 360 though, don't you?
I know, I just don't play it.
Yep, there you go,
'Cause
folks.
It's just Gears of War and Dead Island, which freaking Dead Island. That game just angers me.
Well, you were
I-
supposed to play it with me and Companion, but we never got that really situated and working out.
Yeah, and then Companion's Xbox lit on fire because I guess he was holding it when we threw him in the fire.
Yeah,
Which we should have told him to drop it, but he wouldn't. He just clinged onto that thing like a life raft.
and then I broke my Xbox to some extent, and I'm like, well, shit,
Oh.
I'd rather buy a PlayStation 3, and I bought a PlayStation 3.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, one day.
Speaking of PlayStation 3 and digital copies, if you have a PlayStation Plus membership, the game for this month that will be replacing Battlefield 3 has been confirmed. It's Hitman Absolution, and you can download that right now.
That is fancy.
Yeah, for free if you have the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus seems amazing. I'd probably actually get that.
It is pretty good, and I don't know what the PSN equivalent. They have a PSN game for Ucross because you don't know this. That's going out this month and will be replaced at, like, I think in the middle of the month
Hmm.
or maybe at the end. I don't know, but they have another game that's going out and getting replaced here soon, and I don't know what they're going to replace it with, but it's, who knows?
What's,
It's hopefully
what's the old one?
Labyrinth something, Labyrinth Heroes or something like that. It's,
Okay, haven't heard of it.
yeah, it's something I had never heard of, and when I looked at it, it looked like you were playing a kid wandering through a labyrinth. So I was like, well,
Oh.
that's definitely towards the title.
I want to play Double Dragon Neo. I know that was on there for a while. It's
I
a
know,
remake of the original Double Dragon.
I know for the PSP, Final Fantasy Tactics was on there for a while, and
Oh.
that was pretty grand. If I had my PlayStation Plus account at that time, I could have actually downloaded it on the PS3 and just sat it there until I got until I got a PS Vita and just put it on that afterwards,
Yeah.
which would have been hilarious.
There's a lot of PlayStation 1 games that just don't exist anymore.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Like Kagero Deception, game that only I've heard of, where you have no ability to fight, but you can have traps, and people run after you, and you set up traps. And the object is to set up the stupidestly big, most trap combo ever. It'll be like there'll be a trap door, and it'll throw someone into a wall spike, and then when they land, they hit a panel, and then a rock falls down a stair and crushes them. And then as they stumble around with their broken bones, a flame arrow shoots out of the wall and shoots them. And then a wind trap comes and like blows them down to a tar pit. And then they're on tar. And then the fire arrow hits them again. They take more damage because they have tar on them, and that's flammable. It's probably oil. That makes actual sense. Best game ever. No one's ever heard of it.
Yeah, there are a lot of PlayStation 1 games that not only have the physical copies seem to have just vanished, but also you can't find ROMs or anything else of them.
Yeah, and
It's
that's
like
sad.
they just
Like,
never existed.
yeah. And the thing is, the only way to play a lot of games is like to illegally download a ROM and play it on an emulation system.
Which
And
really
that's the
should,
only way you can play it.
yeah, and if that should not be the case
Yeah.
at all. That's why I like PlayStation's classics, because you know for damn sure they don't have to pay very much to host those on there, but they
Mhm.
make money off them.
Yeah.
So why not just put every freaking PlayStation game that they still have on there is my question.
Yeah, there's no reason. Well, I can't say there's no reason not to. Maybe there is, but like, it should be a thing that happens.
Yeah, to our knowledge, there's no reason not to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe there is, but to our knowledge, there's not, and it's a
Yeah.
shame that it's a shame. What's the biggest shame though, is that it's still illegal to download these games that you can't buy.
Yeah.
Like, I could understand, the premise being illegal, but no one should ever get in trouble for the actual practice of it if they can't buy it.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing with like animes. Like some of them will literally never come out in America, ever,
Yeah,
ever.
100%.
Yeah, the only way you can watch them is like a fan sub, and it's not technically legal. But what are you gonna do? It's either just never watch it ever or watch it.
Yeah, or Toho games, which I play quite a bit.
Mhm.
The person who made them specifically said he will never release them anywhere but Japan. He's not concerned with doing it.
Mhm.
So,
Which is weird because I happen to know those games have a huge cult following to the point where I almost don't know if I need to attach the word cult to it.
they do have a tremendous following, and that's why
Yeah.
it's so easy for, if you do buy like the Japanese version and you
Mhm.
do pay, give him money. That's why it's so easy to actually still play it, because there's so many fan translations,
Yeah,
which is
So-
a good thing in my opinion.
it's kind of a weird choice.
Yeah, but it's a hard thing to make, I would assume,
Mm-hmm.
and he is one man, so
Yeah, but they should just be some guy in a business suit, like, "Hey, I'm a distributor. I'll distribute your games for you." Like that couldn't be that hard, right?
I haven't looked into why, like, the very specifics, but I'd assume he doesn't want his games to be distributed like that. Maybe he just doesn't trust it. I don't know.
He
But
should. Well,
He
maybe he
definitely
just
should.
doesn't like money. Maybe he hates money.
Abso-freaking-lutely hates money.
'Cause
That
it's
is
not
it.
like he wouldn't need a translator team.
No.
There'd be like 100 people that'll translate it for him.
Yeah, there's like just release it in Japanese in America. People will translate it for you.
Yeah.
God's
Whatever.
sakes.
Some people hate money.
That's true. So, just to finish it up, definitely there's not a big difference between digital and physical copies anymore.
Mm.
certainly shouldn't detract from the quality of the game. So even if you're someone who's like, I absolutely hate digital, if the game is good, you should still buy the digital version, because if you do buy the digital version, that company has more money to make further games. And if you do say, I bought your digital version, but I'd like a physical in the future, you've given them more money to then do that.
Yeah.
So you're not accomplishing anything by telling a good game company, fuck you, you didn't make it in physical copies.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just, I'm wondering that who are the people that are saying this? Because they're no one that we know. Because we've already made the switch. It's like,
yeah, but if I follow a couple of people on Twitter from Xseed, and they mention it all the time, the shitstorm they have to face, and it's just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But
all right, we were actually over time. It has been 10 minutes
we
past.
We are well over time.
Yes.
By well, I mean, yeah, 10 minutes. But...
It was about 10 minutes.
Did the stream actually work? Personally, I don't know.
Yeah, I've checked periodically.
I mean, yeah, me checking periodically, it seemed to have worked, but I don't know. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
There's nothing special you have to do to make it save, is there?
Not that I know of, but I can't anyway, because weird issues, so.
Oh, yeah.
At least it'll be on YouTube.
That's all that matters, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Who goes to Twitch anyway to watch an older one? Just watch it on YouTube.
But
there we go, slamming our own platform for releasing this. Done and done.
I'm fine with this.
We are the best.
Alright. I need to go die in a hole over there.
Okay then. So that is the Waiting Queue podcast. Thank you for watching and joining us. And next week, or whenever we do it again, it might not be next week, Companion will probably be back.
Yeah.
Unless we haven't received our new model from Gladys, which at that point I might have to call in and ask for a new one.
We've actually done really well, because we've done this 3 weeks in a row now at the same time.
Well, like, one was on Tuesday, so...
Oh. 3 weeks in a row, almost at the same time.
It was at the same time, but not the same day, so...
Yes, good enough.
Good enough, indeed.
The sun was in the same position relative to the Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's all we said would happen right now.
Alright, well, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Goodbye.
Say goodbye, children.
And that's how we'll end it.